Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is, how do I shake just sort of an envy or sort of a jealousy that I feel towards the narcissist? I have not been treated well, and this makes me feel jealous not only of them, but the other people in their life. One important thing I think that's so important is that when you are in a relationship with a malignant narcissist, they also operate by a pathological sense of envy and jealousy. You might call them the controlling or possessive type. Very controlling over the flow of information in your relationship, withholding compliments, withholding, interest, withholding time from you, withholding intimate acts. All this is part of really a pathological envy and jealousy that not only I feel that you sort of pick up emotional habits from these individuals. It's very important that you acknowledge and validate this. It's important because the narcissist likes to be the ringleader. They like to be the one in the spotlight, the limelight. It's all about them. They want to be on their pedestal. And to keep that, sometimes they will engage in withdrawing attention, affection, or support to others, because if they were to elevate you up, to be equal with them, then this threatens a narcissist. They always want to be up and then down. They want to be the one, who's the boss cow, the boss, really that is driven by jealousy and envy. And so they will do very, I would say, sabotaging emotional behaviors that you pick up and might unconsciously mimic, especially picking up their negative or bad habits. One thing with a narcissist, you might find that they have very strong opinions and that other people bother them. They get annoyed by how they did this. They get annoyed by that. I can't believe they did this. They're always sort of watching and monitoring others around. And this is, will become really a negative talk and creates a very negative emotional habit, particularly based on fear and judgment. When you talk about pathological jealousy, there's a feeling that one does not have enough, one will not get enough, that they are in a competition and they want to kind of keep up with what everybody else has. And so there's this sort of circumventing and disrespecting the competition, that they will, not reflect back to you really your strength. It's almost like being in a have you ever gone to a restaurant or a carnival or someplace where they have, those funny wiggly mirrors, and then you go in front of one and you look very tall and skinny. You go in front of one, you look very wavy. The other one, you're about 1 foot high, 5 feet wide. It's a distorted mirroring of you. And they will do this, I feel, either intentionally or unconsciously, but it is intentional to sort of grind people down, disempower them. And so this is very important because it's gonna keep that sort of instability. And a lot of people, they take a lot of energy from this. In other words, the jealousy makes them driven. The jealousy makes them angry. They want to, take them off the roster. They don't want this to be a competition. They want to boast or oftentimes be braggadocious about what they have, their newest device, what their device does, this, and the other thing. And oftentimes then not receiving the same feedback or degree of experience from you. It becomes very imbalanced, and a very negative habit can then be picked up from these individuals. Namely, that of judgment, I feel, is a very negative emotional habit. Criticizing others, talking about them behind their back, being really superficial and only validating somebody on what they do or their appearance. This becomes very vapid. This becomes very empty. And a lot of the social media is built on putting forth, that whole Instagram, putting forth their body, the very superficial, and they, lacking of really sort of substance. And this can drive a lot of people to only take solace in the superficial. And especially a narcissist, very glib, very just sort of fake, inauthentic, but oftentimes there's a bad emotional habit that they will create, and then it will create a sort of a jealousy or an imbalance in yourself, throwing you off balance, throwing you off center. Then you no longer like who you are or what you have because you don't feel that you're good enough or you can't compete. When that is really just you're plugging into that whole matrix that's designed to, be judgmental and then use you essentially not like a statistic, but as supply. In other words, you're like a stepping stone or helping them to get, and then if they can, leave you damaged or with bad habits, you have to then realize that, because of this relationship, you might have done some things that were out of character, made some mistakes, done some, crazy things. Don't worry about it. It's all have to be taken in stride and grace. But realize then the antithesis and living in the solution is to let go of that sort of superficial jealousy, because you're losing perspective on your own strength. To be happy, I really feel you have to have a balanced and strength-based identity, or your I am. And getting to know what that is about and really being able to live that, living out loud, so to speak. Oftentimes people feel that they have to live in silence or live in quiet or suffer, quiet suffering, quiet distress, unhappy, but always trying to fish, for the compliments or, see if you can win the approval of the narcissist. So if you're really, looking at that, then you're basically, in my viewpoint, you're sort of hosting and entertaining a lot of lies and living a false lie or a false life that might have been programmed or conditioned in you in your childhood. But now that you've lived a little, is it really all about that? The superficial, the, talk, you basically can only see yourself. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and you don't even know if you should be sitting there because all they're doing is airing all their conquests, their purchases, their, what makes them so amazing. And, you might as well just be sitting there, in a, just in a invisible realm, but just so they can brag. I mean, in other words, people feel invisible. They don't feel that they are valued, that who they are or what they have done is good enough. And so this then develops a people-pleasing attitude, which can really run people ragged. It'll burn people out. They find themselves really, as I call it, their ladder is leaning up the wrong tree. They thought the fruits of their life would be one thing, and the fruits of their life are another. So you have to look at that goal and move that ladder, move where you're climbing to, and to live in that higher vibration that you had been denied of, meaning owning your truth, living in your strength, knowing what that is, even if it's very, very subtle. Living in your strength and knowing this and having a degree of a strong self-approval will help you to get out of the jealousy. There was a song by Sheryl Crow back in the day, and part of the words were, it's not getting what you want, it's wanting what you've got, or some to that effect. So you have to realize that the narcissist will try to create this sort of consumptive lifestyle. And and to people please, to show up, to show off. And that becomes a very conditional existence. In other words, you only feel loved or attractive if, if this, if that. It's very condition based. And then what happens if that is not present? Does that mean you're ineffective, not lovable, not worthy of respect? So you have to get perspective on this and restore this in your I am and own it within. The greatest treasures are within. It's a building process. So don't give up the faith. Keep trust in the process and let go of the jealousy and envy. And I want to say, especially now with the pandemic, it really is like a great time to reset. A lot of the retail establishments are shut down. People are doing a lot more family events, having barbecues, swimming parties, doing hiking, biking, getting a motorcycle, doing something that's different and unique, and really doing it all outdoors. And it's not all about that high consumptive, keep up with the narcissist sort of lifestyle right now. So if this has been a lesson learned, really hold fast to that. And as I always talk about, write it down. I know my strengths. Get a big whiteboard. Go to the office supply store and get yourself a dry erase board. Get yourself some poster size, like when I was presenting for my job, I was active in employee benefits, so I'd have to present benefit meetings. I've also been a new product developer where I developed and gave away a lot of intellectual property. And in those, I've created multi-million-dollar products that are wildly successful today, but I gave away a lot of my intellectual property, which was a lesson learned. I was being overly generous or did not know the ramifications, So I would get, a big presentation board, like if you go to the office supply store, like a flip chart, and then write out and it's like it will have a sticky piece on the top, just like a Post-it note, but maybe like 3 feet by 3 feet or 3 feet by 2 feet. And then I know my strengths. I embrace my strengths. These are mine. And I am so grateful for this. And I exist in gratitude every single day. And I will call upon the strength of gratitude because that will give me confidence. If you are lacking confidence and you are jealous, you are not embracing or owning or aware of your own strengths and of your character. You don't have to have the same strengths as the narcissist. You don't have to have the same weakness. And for goodness sake, don't pick up the same bad emotional habits that have broken you down. Realize it's important for you to restore a sense of wholeness, and not that you've got like a big bite taken out of you that always hurts. You have like a chronic sense of being hurt. You need to be assertive and come back to the humble. Come back to the gratitude. Come back to the degree of thanking your creator, thanking life for all it has brought you, the good, bad, and the ugly. If you can embody this, you will be in a much more focused, calm, and centered place and able to respond and give love even in the presence of hate, jealousy, division, people who are talking negatively about others. It's like, when I went to Japan, there was this like amazing, I think they have like a shrine. It's a Shinto religion, I think, in Japan. But there was this carving from like 400 AD. And it's the monkeys of see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And that's, if you've ever seen those monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Go on a fast of speaking this negativity. Take a total fast. Do it for 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, and you'll realize how much negativity will bring you down. And a lot of that oftentimes is based on fear, conditional love. I mean, it's only based on specific things. If your hair is perfect, your body is banging, You've got $10,000 to take me on a cruise this weekend. Be very careful that you don't fall for that superficial trap of the condition-based relationship, because it'll create a hollowness and an emptiness, which then is a perfect hosting spot for self-sabotage, self-doubt, and lack of self-trust. You need to be able to have trust and humility and being humble and embracing yourself and your strengths. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist that puts you in front of a funny mirror that distorts the true you, and they don't want you to be empowered or allow you to have your needs met, and they make you feel suspicious, paranoid, like that they're going to judge you, exit stage left, stage right, up, down, wherever you got to go. Get out. Do not surround yourself, because you will really need to then take a lot of time in creating more positive, healthy, emotional habits, which I hope you can pick up here on the channel. Let go of the jealousy. You are enough, and you are magnificent. You are a miracle in the making. Realize that every single day, and allow really I want to say colossal radical change to come to your life in how you breathe, how you feel, how you carry yourself, to what degree you understand and feel self-respect and humility and reverence in life. These are oftentimes the emotional states that you will not get from a narcissist. They are then in that poverty consciousness that is so depleting and wastes a lot of people's time, love, money, energy. It's very destructive. And of course, I do have a lot of passion about this and care about you, my beautiful, empowered harmonizers. So, go for the gusto, go for the I am, and realize that this is what you need to tap into. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out. Have a beautiful day.